Drew McIntyre attacks Cody Rhodes on SmackDown and tries taking his championship. SmackDown opens with a roar that shakes the arena. Blue lights sweep across the crowd as the camera cuts to the entrance ramp. The fans are already on their feet because they know what's coming next. Wrestling has more than one royal family. The pop is thunderous. Cody Rhodes steps out through the curtain, WWE Championship resting proudly on his shoulder. He pauses at the top of the ramp, soaking it all in. Kids reach over the barricade. Grown men chant his name. Cody taps the title, nodding to the crowd, emotion written all over his face. He walks slowly to the ring, slapping hands, his eyes scanning the arena like he's trying to memorize every second of this moment. When he slides under the ropes, he climbs the turnbuckle and raises the championship high. This is his era, or at least, it was supposed to be. Cody requests a microphone and waits as the noise dies down. He smiles. SmackDown, what do you want to talk about? The crowd erupts again. Cody paces the ring, championship now resting over his shoulder. He talks about the grind, the pressure, the responsibility of carrying this title. He talks about fighting champions, about not ducking anyone, about standing here every single week because this championship deserves a champion who shows up. Then his tone shifts. He says something's been bothering him. Because ever since he won this title, there's been a voice in the background. A voice questioning whether he deserves it. A voice saying this reign is temporary. A voice saying the real monsters are coming. Cody stops pacing. He looks straight into the hard cam. And he says he's not afraid. If anyone thinks they can take this championship from him, they're welcome to try. That's when the music hits. The arena mood changes instantly. Drew McIntyre's theme blasts through the speakers like a warning siren. The crowd reaction is mixed but loud. Drew storms out onto the stage, eyes cold, jaw clenched, dressed for a fight. No smile, no posing, just rage barely contained beneath the surface. He stops halfway down the ramp. Cody doesn't back up, he doesn't flinch. The two lock eyes from across the ring, and you can feel the tension crackling through the screen. Drew slowly lifts a microphone. He doesn't raise his voice. That makes it worse. He says Cody talks about pressure like he understands it. He says Cody talks about monsters like he's faced the real ones. Drew says he carried this company through empty arenas. Through silence. Through nights where there were no cheers, no chants, no moments to soak in. Just pain and responsibility. And what did he get for it? Nothing. He says while Cody was gone, finding himself, reinventing himself, Drew was here breaking his body for this company. Drew steps closer to the ring. He says Cody walked back in and was handed dreams Drew had to bleed for. Cody listens, his face serious now. Drew says that championship on Cody's shoulder doesn't belong to him. It belongs to someone who never left. Someone who never ran. Someone who was forged by failure and sharpened by betrayal. Drew points at the title. And he says he's done asking. Cody lifts his mic and responds calmly. He says Drew's pain is real. His sacrifices are real, but none of that gives him the right to take shortcuts. Cody says championships aren't claimed by bitterness. They're earned. Drew laughs. A dark, humorless laugh. He drops the microphone, and then he charges. The arena explodes as Drew slides into the ring and tackles Cody to the mat. The two start throwing fists immediately, the championship sliding off Cody's shoulder and clattering to the canvas. Drew's punches are heavy, brutal, measured. Cody fires back, scrambling to his feet, catching Drew with a right hand, then another. The crowd is losing their minds as security and referees sprint down the ramp. Drew shoves Cody into the corner and unloads with shoulder strikes, driving the air out of the champion's lungs. Cody collapses to a knee, and Drew grabs him by the hair, yelling at him as he pulls him back up. Cody fights free, ducks a clothesline, and hits a disaster kick that sends Drew stumbling back. The crowd roars. Cody goes for Rhodes. Drew blocks it. He powers Cody up and slams him into the mat with a spine-rattling slam. Referees beg Drew to stop. He doesn't listen. Drew grabs the WWE Championship from the canvas. The crowd is screaming now, half in shock, half in rage. Drew looks down at the title. He lifts it, not in celebration, in possession. He tells Cody to look at it. He kneels beside the fallen champion and says this is what power looks like. Then he smashes the title down across Cody's back. The sound echoes through the arena. Cody cries out in pain, rolling toward the ropes. The referees swarm Drew, trying to pull him away, but he shrugs them off like they're nothing. Drew drags Cody back to the center of the ring and locks his eyes on the championship again. He lifts it high. The visual is chilling. Drew McIntyre standing tall, holding the WWE Championship while Cody Rhodes lies broken at his feet. Officials finally manage to separate them, pulling Drew toward the ropes. But Drew isn't done. He breaks free one last time and delivers a Claymore kick straight to Cody's skull. The crowd gasps. Cody goes completely still. Drew stands over him, chest heaving, sweat dripping down his face. He raises the championship again and screams that this is his destiny. That Cody is just a placeholder. That SmackDown belongs to him. Security finally floods the ring and escorts Drew up the ramp, but he never stops staring at Cody. Never. In the ring, medics rush in, checking on the champion as the crowd chants Cody's name, clapping rhythmically, trying to will him back to his feet. The camera zooms in on Cody's face. Pain, anger, resolve. As Drew reaches the stage, he turns around one final time and lifts the championship high above his head, even though it's not his. Yet, SmackDown goes off the air with one final image. Cody Rhodes being helped to his feet, clutching his ribs, staring down the ramp. And Drew McIntyre standing tall under the lights. The message is clear. This isn't over. This was just the beginning. The cameras come back from commercial, and the atmosphere inside the arena feels different. Heavier, quieter, like everyone in the building knows something has shifted. Cody Rhodes is still in the ring. Not standing, not celebrating, sitting on the canvas with his back against the bottom turnbuckle, one arm draped over the middle rope, chest rising and falling sharply. Medical staff surround him, asking questions, checking his neck, his ribs, his eyes. The WWE Championship rests beside him, no longer looking like a symbol of glory, but something fragile that almost slipped away. The crowd starts chanting his name again. Cody, 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 slow at first, then louder. Cody waves the medics off. That alone gets a reaction. He grabs the middle rope and pulls himself up inch by inch. His face tightens with pain, but his eyes burn with something stronger. The doctors try to stop him. He shakes his head. No, not tonight. He grabs a microphone, leaning heavily on the ropes just to stay upright. His voice isn't loud, but it's raw, and the building goes silent to hear him. He says Drew McIntyre wanted to make a statement. He says Drew wanted to remind the world who he is. Mission accomplished. Cody pauses, catching his breath. Then he says Drew didn't just cross a line. He obliterated it. Cody says this championship isn't something you steal. It's not something you pose with. It's something you fight for, suffer for, and protect with everything you have. He says Drew wants this title. Then Drew better understand what comes with it. Because Cody Rhodes doesn't run. He doesn't hide. And he doesn't forget. The crowd erupts. Cody drops the microphone, grabs the championship, and raises it with one arm. It's not pretty. It's not triumphant. It's defiant. The camera fades out on Cody standing tall, but wounded, the image of a champion who just realized the fight of his life has begun. Later that night, the camera cuts backstage. The hallway is chaotic. Security guards line the walls. Officials rush back and forth. The tension is still thick in the air. And then the camera finds him. Drew McIntyre, walking down the hallway with purpose, towel draped over his shoulders, sweat still pouring down his face. His eyes are wild, like the violence earlier only woke something up inside him. An interviewer cautiously steps into frame, asking Drew why he went that far. Drew stops walking, slowly turns. He looks straight into the camera. He says because being patient got him nothing. He says being respectful got him overlooked. He says he watched opportunity after opportunity slip through his fingers while others were handed moments he had to beg for. Drew says Cody represents everything wrong with this company. Not because Cody isn't talented, but because Cody is celebrated for surviving while Drew was ignored for enduring. Drew steps closer to the camera. He says he didn't attack Cody. He exposed him. He says Cody felt pressure tonight for the first time. And it broke him. Drew says the next time they're in the ring together, there won't be referees. There won't be security, just a bell. And when that bell rings, Drew McIntyre will take back what was always meant to be his. He shoves the camera aside and storms off. The next week on SmackDown, the show opens with Drew McIntyre already in the ring. No entrance music, no pose, just Drew, standing under the lights, arms crossed, waiting. The crowd rains down boos. Drew doesn't care. He says he's done pretending. He says he didn't come back to be liked. He came back to be feared. Drew says Cody Rhodes can keep pretending he's the hero, the champion of the people, the symbol of hope. But hope doesn't survive impact. And Drew promises impact. He says Cody isn't medically cleared tonight. And that's fine, Because this isn't a challenge. It's a countdown. The crowd suddenly erupts. Cody Rhodes' music hits. The place explodes. Cody storms onto the stage, taped ribs, fire in his eyes, championship strapped tightly around his waist. Officials immediately try to stop him, but Cody pushes past them. He slides into the ring and gets right in Drew's face. No words, just fury. Drew smiles. He tells Cody to look at himself. Barely standing, still pretending. Cody finally speaks. He says Drew wants a fight. Then he's got one. Not on Drew's terms. On his. Cody challenges Drew McIntyre to a WWE Championship match. But not just any match. He wants a fight where there's nowhere to hide. No excuses. No shortcuts. A match where only one man walks out. Cody says he wants Drew in a match that guarantees one thing. Pain. The crowd roars. Drew doesn't hesitate. He accepts. He says Cody just signed his own ending. The two stare each other down, foreheads nearly touching, the tension so thick it feels like the ring might explode. Officials rush in again, separating them before it turns violent. As Drew backs into the corner, he mouths one last message. Tick, tock. Cody adjusts the championship on his shoulder, eyes never leaving Drew. The war is official, and SmackDown fades out with two men who aren't fighting for gold anymore. They're fighting for identity, and neither one plans on losing.